Okay. Somebody showed up today. Hello and welcome into the very happy Knicks-Verse here. This was the type of game that I wanted to see. This was the type of response that I needed to see after that loss, that demoralizing loss to OKC at MSG. Today, on Sunday, an afternoon game, the New York Knicks hosted the Milwaukee Bucks and sent them home really upset, really bummed, demoralized. And that's what good teams should do to other teams. Milwaukee Bucks is a good team. This is a solid win. In fact, the Bucks have had the second best defense in the last 12 games before this game, behind OKC. So that'll just show you that it wasn't necessarily just what OKC did on Friday night to the Knicks. It's what the Knicks do to themselves. This team, this offense, when it's cooking, will, and I hate to use these terms because I'm in Los Angeles and I didn't mention it in the previous shows before, but some horrible things have happened here, as everyone knows, the whole world knows by this point. We even got an alert to evacuate here on Thursday, and there was like 10 minutes of panic. It was a mistake, that alert, but a lot of people have lost their homes. My heart goes out to every single one of them. I could not even imagine having to deal with that type of devastation. That said, there is apparently good news. The winds are cooperating. The Palisades fire did start having some new life, but that has been somewhat tamed down. And same with the Eaton fire. If you guys are curious, I'm okay. My family is okay, but several friends have lost their homes. It's devastating. And I mean, what can you say? I just hope my heart goes out to them, and anything that needs to be done needs to be done. But this is about the Knicks. Sorry to go off on that tangent. Welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button for me, drop your comments, and let's get to it. New York Knicks took care of business here today against the Milwaukee Bucks, 140-106, a 34-point win. That is a resounding victory. And this was even a game when we were scared. When Brunson had to leave the court, he had what turned out to be a shoulder stinger. He just needed to go off and needed to just tone down. Kind of, it's a little bit similar to a funny bone. So but it can be dangerous sometimes. He came back because, I mean, he was having one of the most, he had a 23-point first quarter. He was outstanding. He set the tone. The Knicks went out for a nice lead, and they were basically controlling this game from the very, very beginning. Outstanding game. Jalen Brunson, you guys, right now, get your phones out if you're watching this and vote for Brunson. I am voting for the entire starting lineup for the All-Star game. I don't care. I'm voting for them all. I never do that, but I'm voting for the entire starting lineup because I want to push everybody else out, and we need Brunson to become a starter on this team. He is heads and tails above what Dame Lillard is at the moment. There's no doubt. Tonight, the man delivered 44 points in 28 minutes. Knicks win big. Jalen Brunson scored the most points by a Knick in a game with fewer than 30 minutes played. 44 points in 28 minutes. Bernard King didn't do that. Melo didn't do that. Clyde Frazier didn't do that. Allen Houston didn't do that. No one else has done that before than tonight with Jalen Brunson. It probably should be Jalen's face behind this tweet instead of, or whatever they call it on Blue Sky, instead of Cat. But my apologies to Jalen for that. But Cat had an outstanding game himself, 30 points. And when Brunson was off the court, nursing his shoulder injury, Cat, and even before that, Cat was delivering some major buckets. He was dominating Giannis inside and Lopez. They really had no answer for how to contain this man. And truly, when you think about this situation here with the Bucks and the Knicks, Bucks are a good team. They're a good team. They're like above the middle, but they're not in that upper tier. We know that upper tier is OKC at the moment and Cavs. People are putting Cavs in there. I put OKC as above Cavs, even though the Cavs did beat OKC. Even though they did beat OKC, I still put them above them. But let's just put them in the same tier, for argument's sake. And then there's the Celtics. And then there's the Knicks. I actually don't think there's anyone else in that tier with us right now. And that's why it is demoralizing to have dealt with that loss on Friday and the previous loss on Friday, and the way the team has been going as of late. And it's created a lot of discussion amongst fans. What are the causes? What are the reasons? Are we just not good enough? This and that and this and that. Okay. Distill it to this. Would you rather have Brunson or Dame Lillard? Honestly. Would you rather have Cat or Giannis? Honestly, straight, this season, the way they're playing. I don't think there's really a comparison. And tonight proved it. Our two bigs destroyed, annihilated, humiliated their two bigs. So why is there still a discussion? There isn't. That discussion is over. The New York Knicks beat the Bucks 140-106. And Cameron Payne comes off the bench. I loved what he did. He used to play, with the Bucks. He played with Bobby Portis. Kane was outstanding with 18 points in just 16 minutes of play. Was it 16 or 14 minutes? I thought it was 14 minutes of play. Either way, 3 Knicks bench players with 14-plus minutes tonight. That's going to help because the Knicks play the Pistons tomorrow night. Back-to-back games, but it's at MSG. It's a 7:30 p.m. start. Actually, it'll probably be a 7:40 p.m. start. So they will have rested a full 24 hours before they begin the next game. That's good. That's fine. I'm glad they did this early start today. If the Knicks and the Pistons are no rollover, no pushovers right now. They're gunning for a playoff bid. Right now, they're in the hunt. Actually, they're in the play-in situation, and I think they're 500 for the first time in years. And Cade Cunningham is playing like an all-star, which I expected him to do so from the very first time I ever saw him play. That guy just had the whole demeanor, the style to succeed in the modern NBA, and he's proving it this season. Shout out to him. Congrats to him. But today, this is a discussion about our Knicks. Fantastic game for Towns and for Brunson. Ian tweeted this out. You're going to get knocked. Oh, this is he's quoting Tom Thibodeau here during the post-game interview. You're going to get knocked down in this league. It's about how you respond, Tom Thibodeau said after Knicks' 34-point win over Milwaukee. Thibodeau praised Knicks for regrouping quickly today after losing by 25 to OKC at home on Friday night, and that cannot be understated. We have to completely highlight that. The fact that we lost, and in some ways maybe it is why we turned around and responded in such a fashion today, but the fact that they were able to execute it and pull it off, and everybody on the team contributed today to this victory. That just shows that this team, when they are together, and they are playing for each other and listening to each other, they can enact devastation on an opponent. Tonight was an example of that. There was a long period of time where the game was like, yes, they had the lead, but the game was right there for the Bucks to be able to come back and make a run. I think they even got the lead. They chopped the deficit down under 10 points, and it looked like they were going to go on a run. But then the Knicks just came back, it just woke up and just extended that lead. And it was a lot of the bench. Campaign was one of the key factors in that situation. So shout out to everybody there. So proud of the way they responded today. I do have highlights for you guys, so just hang in there. 44 points for Brunson on 6 assists. He shot 16 of 26, 7 of 8 from the free throw line. The Knicks lately have been unbelievable from the free throw line, which is great because they were once the best free throw shooting team in the NBA. They have slipped of late, but in the past couple of games, that was actually one of the few bright spots, actually the only bright spot against that OKC game. And Breen talked about it during the game. The Knicks did not miss a free throw in that game. And tonight, how did they end up with the free throws? Let's see. Tonight, the Knicks shot 83.3% from the free throw line. Outstanding for them. They were 20 of 24. Okay, I would still like them to be 22 or 24. I know, I'm being a tough right now. I'm being tough on this team for a specific reason because I know that this team can be great. And a lot of you kind of like are accepting whatever good they give us. No, that's not the way I work. That's not the way my mind functions. I believe that a team, when they coalesce together and they have great players, great individuals, and a great foundation, they can achieve greatness. The sum can be greater than, the sum can be greater than the total of its parts. Is that right? Did I screw that up? My point is, I see greatness here, and this team needs to fulfill it this season. I don't want to hear about next season. I don't hear about, in the offseason they might make a move here. I give zero fucks about that. This is the season. Time is short. There was a fucking fires out here that almost burned this house down, and it burned a lot of other people's houses down. We can't wait for tomorrow all the time. Today is the day. Now is the time. And if the fucking minutes are a problem, then correct it. I'm sick of the bullshit, and I'm sick of people making excuses for the minutes. Oh, well, they came out. They were already blown out in the first quarter against OKC, as if that's the way minutes work. Come on. 4 of the top 7 minutes played players in the NBA are New York Knicks. It's not about the first quarter. It was, a month and a half ago. It was about that, about the fourth quarter where they were fading. Remember those games we just faded and gave away in the fourth quarter? Well, that's what that was back then. Now it's happening in the first quarter. So and tonight, what happened? Because they came out. They rose above what their bodies are willing to do. Sometimes the mind can do that. I wake up in mornings. I'm 60 years old. I have mornings where I wake up and I feel fucking fantastic. I feel like I'm 20 years old again. And then I'll have 6 mornings in a row where I wake up like an old motherfucker. Just the way life is. Wear and tear. It's real. This team has the ingredients. They just have to be managed correctly. Now, I'm hearing that Thibs is listening. So we will see. I think that's why we saw Hawkporty. That's why we haven't seen Sims. I think he's listening. Let's hope so. Let's hope it continues. Karl Anthony Towns versus Milwaukee. Now, this is versus against who is considered the best big man in the East. He just ate him up. 30 points, 10 of 16. Look at that efficiency. It's 18 rebounds and 5 offensive. 4 dimes, which were gorgeous dimes, creative dimes. I forgot the term that Clyde said during the game. Something that kind of implied fancy. They're beautiful. Backdoor cuts. It's just people sliding, and his ability to see that. Shout out to him. I'm going to tell you, I did not think he had that in his game, and Breen said it himself. He is an excellent passer. Is he Jokic? No, but he has that. He has that element in his ability. That is something that we need to pull into every single game. Outstanding game for Karl Anthony Towns. We don't win this game without Karl Anthony Towns playing this way. There's no doubt. No doubt. Even though we did win by a pretty large margin. A pretty large margin. All right, here we got these stats. Let's get to the highlights before we come back to this. All right, here we go. Got some hydration break here for a second. Let's slide over this way. The game got off to an interesting start. It was a lot of back and forth. The largest lead was maybe 5 points. The Knicks, OKC had a 4-point lead. But basically, the first quarter went back and forth like that. And the way it finished, that first quarter, let's see, pull it up here. The Knicks scored 36 and the Bucks scored 33. But that second quarter, Knicks amped it up. And that was with 23 points from Jalen Brunson in that first quarter, which I believe is a career high. I'm not sure. I thought I heard it was a career high. You guys drop it in the comments. Let me know. I'll check it later. But the Knicks, got off to a great start, 36-33 in that first quarter. And then they destroyed the Bucks in that second quarter. They won that by 10, 39-29. So they went into the half leading by 13 points. All right, pressures got into the game. I've had a lot to say about Precious. I will say this. He didn't hurt us tonight. I like that, but there's just something about him. Like, he doesn't quite follow the play all the way to the end. He'll play well. He'll give you some good defense. He'll get that initial stop and then doesn't fight and battle to get that the rebound. Twice in this game, early on, Giannis got the rebound and got a score off of Brunson's, Precious, because Precious didn't fight for the rebound after he had played some decent defense. Those are the kind of things that you look for. Those are the details that you look for. Guys like Josh Hart, they are never ending. They constantly are battling for that during that possession. Deuce got in here. Here's a nice. I like this play here. Look at this. Brunson was just fucking insane today. He was insane today. I believe, yeah, that was probably his. Ooh. Look at Cat. Look at that. Look at that stroke. Getting hit. Cat's not getting enough calls. He's not getting the calls. Let's just be honest with you. He's not getting the calls. This was nice campaign. I believe this was his. Oh, no, he missed that one. That was one of the few he missed in that first half. And then Cat just battles, gets the offensive rebound, the putback, got the and one. Can't remember if he hit the and one, but look at that. Look how now this is tough because he fell down, and then on the other end they just ran up because they knew they had a 5-on-4 and they got an easy bucket. That's one of the issues with Cat landing on the ground. It's harder for that big 7-foot body to get up without help, and they can't help him because he got to race back. Nice. There's campaign. That's when Cam starts lighting it up. Outstanding. Campaign in that second quarter scored 13 points. He was 4 of 7 overall, 3 of 6 from the three-point line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 13 points for Cameron Payne in his 9.5 minutes. 9.5 minutes he played in that second quarter. And now Brunson's in there. It's the close of the half. Swish. Gorgeous. So Brunson finished the first half with 27 points. Towns, 18 points. Payne, 13 points. The Knicks had 3 players in double figures. And, I mean, Cat was almost 20 points, and Brunson was almost 30 points. I mean, that was a complete annihilation. The Knicks were up 13 going into the third quarter, and then things just started heating up even more. We get Cat cutting through. Oh, dudes! That was his only bucket in that third quarter, but it was a beaut. Brunson had 17 points in the third quarter. Actually, no, in the second half. Should I say third quarter? Let me pull up the third quarter stats. Brunson had 10 in that third quarter before he got injured. Josh Hart always missed the ever-ready bunny. He took 3 shots in that third quarter, made all 3 of them. He played 12 minutes. OG Anunoby played 12 minutes. Mikal Bridges played 12 minutes. Mikal Bridges had a very interesting game today. He hits his first shot, and then I don't think he only attempted one other shot the rest of the game. No, actually, he ended up attempting. Now I'm looking at 2. He was 2 for 5 overall. He attempted 1 for 4 from the 3-point line. That's it. Which I like that. He sees he doesn't have it right now offensively, and he's trying to do other things. He had 6 assists for Mikal Bridges. That is a great adjustment. It's also a great thing about successful people is they understand when they have it and when they don't. Their limitations. And they don't overdo it. And they play to their strengths. That's what Mikal Bridges did tonight. He was a plus 17 in today's game. And he only took 5 shots. Played 37 minutes. OG Anunoby played 31 minutes. He was a plus 21 with his 11 points, but only 1 of 5 from the 3-point line. Towns was 2 of 5 from the 3-point line, 40%. But Brunson was 5 of 10 from the 3-point line. And I should have even led with this. His first 3-pointer was an off-the-dribble pull-up 3-point shot. something I had not seen him do in games. He's got to go back to that. He was amazing last season doing it. Earlier in the season, he was amazing. He cannot let the defense take that away from him, because once they do, they know that they can just slam him as he comes into the paint and suffocate his airspace and force him into bad shots, because he's going to give up the three-point look. So when he has at least a modicum of opening on that three-point line, in my opinion, Brunson's got to let it fly. He's a fantastic shooter. Tonight, he was able to, his entire game was fed off of that three-point make that he had in the first quarter. From then on, he just could do anything he wanted. He ended up shooting 61.5% overall, shot 50% from the three-point line, hit 7 of 8 at the free throw line, picked up 5 rebounds from Mr. Brunson, and 6 dimes, along with a steal, 44 points in 28 minutes and 47 seconds. No Knick has ever done that before. Enjoy this. Vote for All-Star for him right now. He deserves it. Absolutely deserves it, especially over Dame Lillard, who, I mean, tonight, Dame, he had a nice little game, 22 points, but only 2 of 7 from the three-point line. The Knicks' perimeter defense tonight was as good as I have seen it in a very, very long time. Very, very long time. All right, we're back to the beginning here. Let me show you this here. Before we get to this, let me show you this. So this is the defensive rating for the last 12 games. You can see here. Last 12 games up here. Defensive rating. Number 1 is OKC. Number 2 was Milwaukee Bucks. That's before today's game. After today's game, I refreshed the stats and I have it for you to show you. Boom. Bucks have dropped to 5th with a 109 defensive rating, because that was the annihilation the Knicks just handed them. 140 points is a shit fuck ton of points to give up. So it's going to hurt you, especially in a 12-game sample. But that just shows you that the Bucks were not an easy team to light up, and the Knicks still did it. Look at this. We're talking about what? 2.5 points difference right here. Not even. Yeah, 2.5 points difference. But yet, the Thunder beat us by, 24 last time? This Knicks team has the ingredients. They just have to just work through it. We're in a weird place right now. We're almost at the halfway point of the season. Guys like the guys off the bench that we've been waiting, that were actually on the injured list earlier in the season, like Precious and Landry Shamet. They're starting to get back into the groove, but they still have a long way to go, so they're not really providing us the relief off the bench that we desperately need. We're still waiting for Mitchell Robinson to come back. I think this team has enough. Do they need to make a couple of additions, as well as once they bring Mitch, maybe pull off a trade for Isaiah Stewart, get TJ Warren on this team somehow. I don't know, maybe you have to cut somebody or whatever to get him on this team. We need wing support. We need wing insurance, especially when you look at what's happening here with our wings. OG Anunoby, even though OG had a good game today, even though he only shot 1 for 5 from the three-point line. So he was inside the arc. He was 4 of 7. That's nice. He finished with 11 points, 2 dimes, but he was a plus 21. It's a big marker to show in his 31 minutes of play. And Josh Hart, only took 1 3-point attempt, hit it from the corner. Mikal Bridges was 1 of 4. We need insurance for these guys right now. And at this point, the only insurance I can see is TJ Warren, that we can afford and still make it work under the apron without having to make some bigger move. But you never know. I'll tell you, Leon and Brock, those guys, they're crafty. They could have some secret trade brewing. We will see, because this is the year we have to go for it. I don't want to hear talk about the offseason. I don't want to hear talk about next season. This is the season. I've been waiting too fucking long. And they have the best point guard and the best center in the East. No one can convince me otherwise. And we have Mikal and OG, 2 of the best wings in the game. Now, do they play like that every night? I think OG has been. Mikal has spurts. He had a great December. Mikal's December was outstanding. So, but he plays so many minutes. He's averaging 39 minutes per game, the most in the NBA. So you're going to have periods where he's not as crisp. His shot falls short. He admitted himself. His shot is short. Why? Weak legs. He's not getting the lift that he needs. He's got to make some adjustments. But I like the main adjustment he made was to take less shots today. Fabulous. Great for him. All right, let me look at this. I want to show you guys the game flow here. Look at this lead tracker. See, it started off, it's kind of back and forth. There were only 5 lead changes. Once the Knicks took that lead in about the 8-minute mark of the first quarter, they never gave it back, and they just rode this thing beautifully to the end. Here's the team comparison charts. Second chance points were even, 14 all. It's the circle in the middle down below. Points in the paint, we were a plus 860 for the Knicks, 52 for Milwaukee. Fast break points, Milwaukee actually beat us on that. Normally I would expect us to win that matchup, especially with a team like this. 14-8. The Knicks shot 83% from the free throw line. The Bucks only 58.8%. Only 29.4% from the three-point line. And even though there were a few three-point looks that were open, most of them were challenged. Most of them were contested. And that is a nice adjustment that this team made over what was happening on Friday and recently. Knicks shot almost 44% from the three-point line. Shot 58% overall. Only turned the ball over 11 times. We got 4 blocks, got 6 steals. And 29 dimes, 29 assists for the Knicks. The Knicks sharing and carrying Knicks are back. We need to continue that. Got to trust in each other. Sometimes I saw 4 or 5 passes and then a make. Love that. Keep that going. 49 rebounds. We're plus 10 there. Knicks won 140-36. All right, let's get back to here. To give you this overview, I don't know if you saw it as clearly before, but 44 points for Brunson, 30 for Towns, 18 for Payne. But look at that, man. Achua with 4 points, Matt Ryan, 8 points, even Toppin got 2, Deuce got 6 points in his 20 minutes of play. His shot is still rusty. He's still working on that. 11 points for Hart. He got a double-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds. A double-double for Towns, 30 points, 18 rebounds for him. Brunson's game was impeccable. Look at that. 44 points, 5 boards, 6 assists. 6 assists from Mikal to go along with his 6 points, and 11 points for OG Anunoby. And his defense on Giannis tonight, spectacular. He frustrated him tremendously. He actually made him. He made Giannis not be Giannis tonight. That is incredibly difficult to do. But OG has the size and the girth to do it. He's even though Giannis is like 2 or 3 inches taller than him, OG's wingspan is comparable. But at least his wingspan is long enough to disrupt Giannis's dribble. But his overall his upper body strength is outstanding. He is the perfect Giannis type of neutralizer. The plus-minus, plus 17 for Bridges, plus 21 for OG, plus 28 for Towns, plus 23 for Brunson, plus 24 for Josh Hart. That entire first unit, fabulous game tonight. But the bench, Payne, plus 18, McBride, plus 7, and Achua, a plus 8. The other guys played more in garbage time. Here, the Bucks, look, Giannis, he needed 21 shot attempts to give them 24 points. 0 for 1 from the three-point line. He did pick up 13 rebounds. That's a decent stat line, but not for a superstar. This is a somewhat neutralized stat line for a superstar like Giannis, and that is because of OG Anunoby, mostly because of him. Dame Lillard, 22 points, 2 of 7 from the three-point line. 16 points from Middleton in his 25 minutes of play. He still doesn't look like the Middleton of old, but he definitely looks like he's getting back into it. Bobby Portis was a non-factor tonight. Bucks shot 29.4% from the three-point line. Here are the final team stats. Looking for anything interesting. Yeah, we were a plus 10 in points conceded off turnovers. Beautiful. Biggest lead we ever had was 34 points. Biggest lead Bucks had was 4. All right. This is a fantastic result based upon what has been happening of late. Knicks have been struggling. Knicks had lost 4 of the last 5 games. But 2 of those 5 games were against probably the number 1 team in the West. We know they are the number 1 team in the West, OKC. So you got to factor that in. And then they had a weird game against the Bulls, which was a back-to-back right after. And it was like a 25-minute halftime show to celebrate Derrick Rose, which is fine. But I heard Josh Hart and Brunson both say on their show that it kind of iced them to a certain degree. You know, okay, excuses, but it is what happened. But the Knicks have recovered beautifully today against the Milwaukee Bucks. If the Knicks can pull off the win tomorrow, we're totally back on track. All right, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button for me, and drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your comments, and share the video if you can. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go!